Just wanted to thank you guys for coming. We had a real nice practice this morning. Very crisp, very clean. One of those no padded practices, you know, after a day of contact yesterday. We worked a lot on blitz pickup this morning, doing the little things in that area, and then also had a nice 2-minute drill. You know, that's something we like to do in the morning practices when we're just in helmets and vests, is, you know, work clock situations as a coaching staff and as players, understanding, you know, the importance of 2-minute offense. One of the things that we've been preaching this entire camp, as we did in the springtime, is a physical toughness on offense. You know, it's something that we will get better at, and I'm pleased to report that, you know, we've done a nice job in the spring, and Coach Stewart getting us here in the fall as well. And the beautiful thing is we get to go out this afternoon and put pads on again. So open it up for questions. He's got a physical skill set that I really like. He has a natural presence in the pocket. He does a real nice job of protecting the football, not seeing the rush, keeping his eyes downfield, getting on a number of different receivers throughout a progression, and then he does a nice job delivering the football. Clearly the mental aspect he'll have to work on. I think that'd be true for any freshman. No, I've been very happy with that. You know, clearly we've the first week we come to find out there's a couple of freshmen that are out of position. And so those kids are back to spinning because they're learning a new position this week. You know, we've got a couple of kids in that situation. We moved Stedman Bailey from the inside to the outside, and he's scrambling a little bit. And as we continue to try and involve Tavon Austin, he's being taught a couple of positions as well. We moved some offensive linemen around. Cole Bowers got bumped up around. So there's still a couple of them. Joey Matson's playing center and guard. You know, that are going through, I think, you know, some growing pains within that process. But, you know, for the most part, I especially looking at Geno Smith, the quarterback, and some of the other guys that have been at positions now for, 12 practices, we're very happy with where they are.
Jeff, is Geno surprised?
No, not surprised. I don't think that's the correct term. Clearly he's doing what we thought he could do. He's doing what we thought he could do. It depends on how long your contract is, I guess. You know what I mean? I think you're a better team in the long run. Clearly you'd like to play an older kid, you know, that's been out there in front of 60,000 gold pom-poms and the TV cameras. Oftentimes you're not afforded that opportunity. But at the end of the day, you just got to play the best talent, you know, who can run, jump, throw, block, tackle, hit, you know, who does those things the best, and then it's our job as coaches to teach them. He just hadn't had the reps. You know, it's hard. You prepare as a backup your entire career, and now all of a sudden you have to prepare as a starter. Those are two totally different things. I mean, he's no question, when been called upon in his career, done very, very well. We're going to call on him for 13 straight weeks, and that's the process that I don't think, unless you go through it as a quarterback, you truly understand. And so what I've liked out of him is watching him prepare as a starter every day, and so that's where I see improvement, not in ability. The young guys, you know, we get a little sloppy with those young guys. So, again, I think you got to make sure you limit what you call and get better at what you're good at. And so those are the kind of things that happen in those situations. You know, overall, the scrimmage, it's a situational scrimmage. And I think in most situations we did a pretty decent job. Where I was most disappointed was just, some of the small things. We had some cadence issues. We had some alignment issues. We had some things like that, some drop balls, some missed assignments. Those are the things you got to get cleaned up. And when you can focus in on exactly what those are, that's when you tend to get better. We were able to do that. Well, I don't want to get that twisted. I think they were tough from Jump Street. The West Virginia football has and always will continue to play with that hard edge, and I think they did last year. You know, I think at times on offense, see, defensively it's recognition and reaction, and you tend to play with a little more edge. Offensively, you've got to think before you react, and sometimes that thinking process tends to make you slow down a little bit. And there's no question, you could throw every excuse out in the world. That's a process of learning a system. We're not seeing that anymore, and that's fun to watch, to see them get back to, you know, an aggressive style of play. Whether we're in two backs underneath center in the I formation or whether we're spread out, we still need to play with that hard edge. And I think for the most part the kids did that last year. I think what you saw was an improvement mentally more so than from a toughness standpoint. It's not even close in terms of what we as coaches see out there from where we were last year at this time. Our coaches, our players all feel a sense of, understanding. We were able to put the entire package in 5 days, kind of in a whole part, whole mentality. We pushed them really hard for the first 5 mentally. Each day now we're kind of breaking it back down into little parts as we get into our first opportunity against Liberty and have a whole picture again. I don't know that there's been a difference, Steph. I just, when you got to put it all in at once, it's difficult, because you see what it's supposed to look like and it doesn't get there until, at a time when you're not happy with. So it's been a lot more enjoyable, knowing that this summer that they knew what they were throwing and what they were throwing and why they were throwing it and those kind of things. So, and then I got to be careful because I don't want to screw the pooch and put more on them. You know what I mean? We need to go back to getting into playing fast, and so I think fighting the urge of adding and implementing more, I think, is not the right way to go for this group. I think going backwards a little bit and helping them play hard and fast is the right way to go.